Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. We only have 2 episodes left of The Way Home, and now the end is near. So I am talking about my theories since we are almost done. It's the final countdown. So what I really want to know is I want to know about Casey and Sam. In my last video, I talked about how I believed Casey is Jacob and Abby's daughter. And I think the whole thing with Elliot saying he wanted to have kids with Kat was to try to throw people off. And when Alice did her letter, my dearest little one, I think that was to try to throw people off. And how I believe that Sam is Casey's step-grandfather because Casey had all this information about Sam, and that would make sense because she would have grown up with him because Colton had died. And I don't know if Casey, during her time traveling, if she ever meets Colton like Alice. But so I want to know about Casey and Sam. Those are the answers that I want. Sam did not really seem that surprised when Casey was talking to him on the bench when they showed that flashback when he was like, oh, so me and Dell do end up together. It wasn't like, hey kid, you're nuts. Like, so you're bats. So I would like answers with that. And in this previous episode, all we saw was Sam say, I know about the pond to tell you the truth. Now, when Casey was talking about in the future, I wanted to come back before everything changed. And Alice was like, what's about to change? I wonder if what's about to change is either Alice or Kat disappears. So I've been thinking about how the show is going to end. And I don't think they might leave things open and leave things ambiguous so that the show can get picked up by like Netflix or another service. So they might leave things purposely open. But I was thinking, how could this end? And I wonder if Alice disappears and she travels back in time, an older Alice, and maybe she travels back in time so she can be with Nick and they'd be the right age. I would love for Kat to be with Thomas. I love Thomas. And I wonder, this is hopeful thinking, but maybe if Kat disappears and in the future and she goes to be with Thomas. Also, since we know that now you can time travel forward, maybe Thomas time travels forward. I would love for them to be together. I think that'd be a great twist. I also think it'd be a great twist if Alice came back and like maybe if Nick was like, let me introduce you my fiance Claire, and like she steps out and it's actually Alice and Kat realizes it. And even if they like don't go into detail and they just smile at each other and it ends, I would be satisfied with that. I think it's been really hard to recapture the magic of Alice and Nick's romance. If they don't wind up together, I would like for her to be with Max. I like Max. And Max wasn't in the episode they texted, and Max did crack me up when he was like, you're just gonna stay in this town and not go to college and be with your fritter franchise king. I'm talking about Noah. That did crack me up. There's been some theories that like Alice is gonna accidentally erase herself out of existence or something like that, which I don't think they would do that to our Alice. But if something maybe happens, I wonder like maybe if people might forget who Alice is from time traveling so much. Those are just some theories that I'm throwing out there. We still don't know who was threatening Dell with the letters about Jacob. I don't know if that's going to get answered. And I would like to see, what I hope to see is I would like to see more Griffin. But I feel like because we only have 2 episodes left, and I feel like I would really like his character if there was more time spent on him. But I hope we get to see him speak with Alice when he is older in the present day, since he's her great uncle. In the preview, we saw Griffin talk to Alice, and she's like just got out of the pond, or by the pond or whatever, and he's like, so my grandmother was right, like the pond is magical. So Griffin and Alice do talk, and Griffin does realize that. Going to the 20s, they keep bringing up the name Cassandra, Cassandra, Cassandra. We've heard the Cassandra name throughout the whole show, and Grayson Goodwin talked about Cassandra was his sister and little sister, I believe, and there was the old photographs. I feel like there's significance with that, like relevance, but we still haven't gone into that. I feel like the scene with the chessboard where Max made the little dedication to Alice, I feel like that's kind of ominous. Like I'm like, is there gonna be something sad with this? Like little description, like, because they keep showing it, and I'm like, is this gonna like come back into play, and something kind of ominous, lurking, sad around here there. I still hope Max time travels. I would love for him to see his grandmother young, and I would love for him and Alice to time travel. So yeah, I don't know if we'll like have time to show who Alice is gonna be with in 2 episodes or not. So when it comes to Tessa and Elliot, I really don't care. I think Tessa's gonna die. I already thought that before this recent episode, but I don't care. I care about Casey and Sam. Those characters and those mysteries have been around for a couple seasons, and they're still not answered. And I feel like that this final season has focused on Tessa, on a new character, and has focused all on the stuff with her instead of answering the things that we've been having questions for a couple of seasons now. And so I could care less about Tessa and Elliot, and they were like way too forgiving. It was like, oh well, think about how he felt, that he came up with this whole conniving plan and wasn't going to tell Kat, and took a sabbatical, and she didn't know about it, and he had all his pictures and came up with this lie and made Kat believe that she lost him, and like that wouldn't trigger trauma of her losing Jacob. And then it's like, oh, let's just forgive Elliot for that. He was conniving like his mother, and we thought that Vic was the bad one. Vic is the best one out of all 3 of them. I don't think the wedding is Kat and Elliot. I think that's a red herring. And when they showed that in the beginning, it was like, let's go to a wedding. I don't think it is Abby and Jacob's wedding. I do believe that they will get married and get together, but I don't think it's their wedding, because I think Kat would be excited if it was. So I think it is Dell and Sam's wedding. I think they get married. And like I said, I really don't care about this Tessa storyline, but when Tessa said, I didn't leave the clock behind, I don't think she left the clues. I already like thought that before this episode. She didn't leave the clues behind. I think it was Elliot that left the clues behind so he could go back to the 20s. But it's like you got Thomas, who tried to jump with her to be with Kat in the 1 season and couldn't be with her. And then you have Elliot, who purposely let go and made her worry. And like Dell being all bitchy to Abby just because Abby was like, I'm a city mouse, and she was like, well, you don't know what it's like to be on a farm, but yet she was like forgiving to Elliot, who lied and betrayed her daughter. It's like, what are you smoking, Dell, out on that farm? My favorite part of the episode was with Evie was when Evie and Alice were like having champagne for her birthday. And I feel bad for Evie, like she's alone. And when Alice goes like, I'll always be your best friend. Evie and Alice's friendship ended up being one of my favorite parts of the show. And what I do like that the writers did is in the one season they made it seem like, oh, Evelyn was bad, but then they made her this lovable character, and you assume that Elliot's mom was going to be good, and she is not good. She is bad and not likable. So I do like the twist that they did with that. And I like that we're in the early 80s. I figured that we would roll into the early 80s since it was the end of the 70s. So I'm glad that we're in the 80s a little bit. Some things that I do wish we could have seen on the show. Maybe we will if it gets picked up on another network or we get a spinoff. I would love to see the 60s, like the mod 60s, and I would love to see like the 50s and the 40s. Those are some other time periods that I would love to see. Let me know what your theories are in the comment section below, and let me know how you think this show is going to end. How do you think the series is going to end? Usually with every season they would show like a post-credit scene, right? So I wonder like if there is a post-credit scene, and I wonder what it is. So I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear what you thought of the episode. What have you thought about this season? And my favorite characters on the show, like I asked this in my last episode, and someone was kind enough to answer. My favorite is Thomas, Nick, and Evie. Those are my top three. And then my fourth, it's hard because there's so many lovable characters, but then my fourth would be Max. But yeah, I've loved this show. I have loved the mysteries of the show. I do believe that season 3 answered things more than this season, so I hope we get some answers since we only have 2 episodes left. But yeah, I'm sad that it is ending. But anyways, thank you guys for watching my video. Please like it. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And please subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.